Previously on, did I get what I paid for?
Hello, Jess.
You? But you're dead.
The chains I made in life. You'll be visited by three ghosts to help you change your ways. Or die a horrible death. I forget which. And the next movie up is Flintstones Christmas Carol.
Ugh. Also known as Big Business 1929. Who knows what evil lurks in the heart of internet critics? The Shadow knows? Why, says. Let me guess. You're here to show me my past and make me love Christmas. Perhaps. But I have no issues with Christmas. Overly preachy Christmas specials, yes, but Christmas? Even as an atheist, I'm down with that. That's not what I'm here for. Come with me. I'll show you. What? We know a time in Gaithersburg where Mrs. Bagley lives. Every July, peas grow there. Shut up. The year was 1983. Like many kids your age who had a mild iron deficiency. Well, so your parents thought you vitamins, so you would be. We're gonna review the next movie. The 10 million and speaking of the past, that would be
The Flintstones Christmas Carol.
also known as 8 Crazy Nights. Because you know what else is in the past? Hanukkah. Well, probably. I had some minor health concerns that led us to be behind schedule on this episode. So it's coming out a few nights after the last night of Hanukkah. But I'm going to review it anyway. Before we get started, I want to say two things. One, this movie is really well animated. This was made back in 2002 when everybody wanted to do computer animation. So the fact that Adam Sandler insisted they make it to look like a 1970s and 80s animated special is really cool. Second, he went into this movie with the best of intentions. On the commentary tracks, he talks about how when he was a kid growing up, there were a zillion Christmas specials, but no Hanukkah specials. Not a single one. So he set out to make a holiday movie for all the Jewish kids who were feeling excluded that would still entertain the Gentiles and help them understand what the Festival of Lights was all about. That's a pretty laudable goal. The movie gets points right away for its clever, creative, and funny reimagining of the Columbia Pictures logo. Corny as it is, I love when movies do stuff like that. Our story begins with the narrator telling us how great the holidays are. Then he starts talking about Davy, who's a drunken mess. Every year around Hanukkah, it only gets worse for him. Right now, he's getting drunk at a Chinese restaurant. Apart from being a sort of clumsy homage to A Christmas Story, I see no reason for that. As he's leaving, Davy gets pulled over by the cops. They want to make sure he's not planning on driving drunk. He dry humps his car. The owner of the Chinese restaurant comes out and orders Davy be arrested for pulling a dine and dash. Davy bolts. He hops on a trash can lid and uses it as a sled. Then we get, a song. It's one of those movies. The lyrics are relevant to the story, but they are, for the most part, unfunny when they're trying to be hilarious. But at least they match the visuals of Davy destroying the town's holiday decorations. The next day, the judge says he has no idea what to do with them. Over the years, they've tried the drug tank, the hospital, rehab, and even involuntary psychiatric institutionalization. None of it worked. He has no other choice but to give him a term of 10 years in prison. In walks his old basketball coach, Whitey. He says he'll take him in. He needs an assistant coach. The Jewish Community Center's insurance will no longer cover him, and he's being forced to retire for the end of the season. It's possible without him or a replacement, the team will have to be dissolved because no one else will do it. So they make the kind of bargain you only see in movies. If Davy can do one good thing for the community by the last night of Hanukkah, he's free to go. If not, he's off to prison. Of course, Davy doesn't like the idea. Truth be told, the judge doesn't think he can do it either. He's grown to hate Davy over the years, so this is all being done for shits and giggles. It turns out, in the 20 years since Davy last saw him, Whitey hasn't changed much. He's still hideously deformed. He's still covered with body hair. He's still obsessed with winning a city all-star patch. And he still hasn't won. Davy goes to the game and does nothing to help. The team is awful because, of course it is. Davy makes fun of them. Whitey tells him to be nice. The crowd boos Whitey and Davy. After the game, Whitey is pissed. He takes them to the mall to walk around and clear their heads. While they're there, Whitey sings a song about how great everything is. One question. If they were so great, how come 18 years later they're all gone? After their walk, they go to the food court. Again, Whitey tries to explain to Davy what's important in life. It's near closing time. This woman walks up to Whitey and gives him free donuts. The ones that they're going to throw away anyway. The woman's son walks up to Whitey and shows him what he got for Hanukkah. Whitey thinks it's an Etch-a-Sketch. It's a Game Boy. As the woman walks away, Davy comments on her exile. Whitey says, "That's a technical foul." That woman has been through a lot. Her husband cheated on her with some woman he met online. She moved from New York to raise her son alone. She gets almost no child support. She has a dead-end job and she's Davy's first girlfriend from when he was 12. That ship has sailed. We get a sweet flashback to when Davy and Jennifer were kids. We see how close they were. We get hints that something horrible happened. We, the audience, don't know what. Back in the present, Whitey runs into the mayor on the street. He asks if there's any news on the All-Star patch. He gets a non-answer. The mayor says he's too busy trying to get replacements for all the decorations that Davy destroyed, and find gifts for his wife and his mistress. Davy says he has the solution to the problem. Try Spencer's gifts. They have edible underwear. Davy asks Whitey why he cares about the stupid patch. Whitey says it's the highest honor the town can give. We get a song about it. It's almost funny. Davy wants to go home. On the drive back, he starts eating some peanut brittle. Whitey knows Davy didn't buy any, so where'd he get it? Davy admits he stole it. Whitey reminds him of the terms of his parole and says he could call the cops and it'd be 10 years in prison. Then they argue. Whitey drops Davy home at his trailer. Davy sits in the dark, gets high, and watches TV. Meanwhile, outside, Whitey's car won't restart. He has no reason to fear. He is magically saved by deer with no explanation whatsoever. Whitey's sister complains that he's late. Whitey mentions the patch. Even she's zoning out. They do their nightly feet soaking, and then we pan out to the massive light display outside their house. Whitey goes to find work. That's how he keeps afloat. Odd jobs. But he's almost as destructive to displays as Davy. One of the construction workers offers him $50 to clean the porta-johns. In one of the outhouses, he finds Davy. Something in his unit smells awful. When Davy leaves, Whitey goes in to clean it. The porta-john rolls down the hill and Whitey comes out covered in shit. Davy does nothing to help. But Whitey's friend the deer do. Later, they meet at the basketball court because Davy needs some pointers. Ben, the kid from before, is there. Whitey's watching him while his mom is at work. They start chewing the shit. Davy says he could beat anyone in this stadium at 2-on-2, even with Whitey as his partner. Davy hasn't played ball in 20 years. These two big dudes take him up on the bet. They say if Davy loses, he has to eat their jockstrap. Davy says if he wins, they have to eat the jockstrap of a fat guy on the other side of the room. But big dudes only play shirts. Typical. This movie takes every shot it can to show us Whitey topless. He looks like a Yeti. Within the first 10 seconds of play, Whitey is knocked out. By the official rules, Davy is allowed a replacement, so he tags in Ben. The two of them start kicking major ass. Jenny shows up. At first she's apprehensive because she sees Ben playing basketball with confidence for the first time in his life. She smiles for about 3 seconds. Then Ben trash talks his opponent. Oh yeah, and the big dudes, they eat the fat guy's jockstrap. On the ride back, Davy grumbles how things went wrong. Meanwhile, Jenny is asking herself, why isn't Davy in jail? Then we get a duet that almost seems like romantic reminiscence, until about the midway point. Then the film remembers. It's an Adam Sandler movie. Oh yeah, and this is one of those duets where you have two characters who are miles apart singing the exact same song at the exact same time. Because that's realistic. Davy is about to be dropped home when he sees his trailer on fire. He dives in and gets one thing. An unopened card that he keeps next to a photo of his parents. After that, Whitey says he'll stay with him for a while. Whitey's sister is anxious of Davy's presence. He could be a robber or something. It doesn't help that he's there less than 30 seconds and he's already breaking rules. So they sing him a song called That's a Technical Foul. It's a song that's funny in spite of, or maybe because of, its crudeness. Learning the rules this way helps Davy get adjusted. Whitey and Eleanor soon learn that because of his height and relative youth, Davy can do a few things that they can't. He starts helping with chores and things. We even see Davy vote for who should get the All-Star patch. On one of their errands, Davy shows Eleanor the proper way to eat a corn dog while Whitey ice skates. Davy asks Whitey how he knows how to do that. Whitey says he refereed hockey for a season. Eleanor asks Davy, has he ever played? Davy says no. Whitey says Davy only played basketball, and then only until the JCC Miracle game. We get another flashback, this one to the 1980s. It's the last quarter of the game. The Jewish Community Center team is down by 23 points. Even if they somehow manage to control the ball for the rest of the game, there is statistically very little chance of them winning, but somehow the team of Davy and Jenny pull it off. Wait a minute. 24 points? That's 8 3-pointers. 8. Well, it's kind of a cute gag. But you don't have to be the Shabbos Goy at a Jewish bakery to realize that maybe that joke isn't quite as clever as the writers intended it to be. Davy is upset that his parents aren't there to see him win the championship. The cops come in after the game. It turns out his parents were on their way when they were in a deadly car accident. One of the cops gives Davy a card that his mom had been carrying. It's the same one we saw him rescue from the fire. Davy bounced around the foster care system for the next 6 years. He didn't take it well either. He pushed away everyone who gave a shit about him, including Jennifer and Whitey. Being reminded of this incident in the present pisses Davy off. Davy tells Whitey he's never going to win that All-Star patch because even if he deserves it, and that's a big if, the town doesn't care. Most of them don't know he exists, and those who do think he's a nuisance. Jenny overhears this and yells at Davy. She says he hasn't changed. It's been 20 years and he's angry and treating people like shit for the crime of trying to help him. Whitey doesn't let Davy deter him. He gets ready for the All-Star banquet. His animal friends help out. Meanwhile, Davy gets drunk. He breaks into the mall and starts shouting for Jennifer, who isn't even there. He curses God and the universe for their simple existence. Then he hallucinates that all the logos and mascots in the mall come to life again. But unlike in Whitey's fantasies, they're not friendly. They've got a bit of bite to them. They sing a song encouraging them to let all the pain and anger out. He reaches into his pocket and finds the card. It has a little bit of money in it and a holiday message. A reminder to stay true to who he is and be a good person, no matter what. He's about to break down when the police come to arrest him. Most of them are happy to see him go away forever. Only he escapes and cuffs the cops. Once they get out of the cuffs, they chase after him. Davy tried to catch a bus out of town. Meanwhile, across town, the mayor starts his speech. He tells an awful joke and the crowd gives uproarious laughter. Or at least pretends to. Over in the corner, Fozzie Bear is saying, "Wait, that joke gets a laugh and my act causes a riot? What gives, eh? Davy is about to reach city limits when the bus breaks down. He asks the driver how long it's going to take. The driver says about an hour and a half. Davy says he'll be right back, he forgot to take care of something, and runs off toward the banquet hall. The cops are still looking for Davy, but the deer help him hide. He gets to the window just in time to hear who wins the big All-Star patch. Whitey doesn't win. Instead, it's some billionaire douchebag who bought the community center's new scoreboard. Whitey claps, tries to look civil, gets up from the table, and leaves. Davy wants to go in there, comfort Whitey, and apologize, so he goes inside. The police catch him. He says he'll go along peacefully if they just let him talk. It's Jenny of all people who says, "It's the holidays, you should at least give him that." Davy rants how Whitey should have won the patch. Not because of what he's done for the kids of this town for literal generations, but because he doesn't do it for the tax write-off. He does it because that's who he is. The few people in this town who know he exists treat him like shit. He turns it into a song, the opening of which seems like a cheap ripoff of Opera Man. But the gist of it is, if there's one person who was worse than all of them, it was Davy. But the past few weeks have made him realize he's been an awful human being. Jenny joins in the song. Soon, everyone is singing along. Whitey tries to go to the mall. Eleanor tells him it's closed, but the locks are still smashed from when Davy broke in, so they start wall walking. Like Davy, Whitey talks to the mall. He tells it he didn't win the patch. Davy shows up to apologize. He says some of what he said might have been true, but saying it was cruel nonetheless. Plus, he's got something very special for Whitey. He hands him the patch. Whitey says he doesn't want something that was stolen, but billionaire Dickweed says it isn't. Realizing that Whitey had never won it, he abnegated his victory. In fact, so did everyone who won one in the 35 years of its existence. The cops tried to arrest Davy, but the mayor said, no. The judge said he had to do one good thing for the community, and I don't know how, but somehow this motherfucker did it. Well, he's a politician, so he didn't actually say that, but that's the gist of it. Davy and Whitey celebrate. Davy becomes the new coach. Davy and Jenny agree to hook up. Eventually, cue Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song, and that's the movie. Did I get what I paid for? What do you think, dear? Some help you are, you dumb bastards. This movie proves the old adage that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Adam Sandler wanted to make the It's a Wonderful Life of Hanukkah movies. Instead, he made the Star Wars Holiday Special of Hanukkah movies.
Come forth and know me better, man.
If you like this video, ring the bell and subscribe. And go to patreon.com/parody error films.